wanna get my EIB, E-I-B-I-O. So I went to the lanes to get my go, E-I-B-I-O. Got a no-go here and a no-go there, here a no-go, there a no-go, everywhere a no-go. Time to take the walk of shame, E-I-B-I-O. A badge protector had a lane, E-I-B-I-O. And on his lane nobody gotta go, E-I-B-I-O. With a no-go here and a no-go there, here a no-go, there a no-go, everywhere a no-go. I should punch him in the nose, E-I-B-I-O. Me and Kadri got in a fight, E-I-B-I-O. I didn't seal my mask just right.
Okay, so what we're going to go over here is troop leading procedures. So what you're kind of looking at right now is like a picture of the blackboard that you find in Bay Planning area, Ranger School. And while this is a school thing, typically, you can also use it, you know, in regular training, regular stuff. Easy to replicate. I've used it not just in school, but I used it when I was also a platoon sergeant, right? So basically, when you begin your formal bay planning, rear planning, whether, you know, mountains or whether at Darby at Fort Moore, you don't really use this in Florida. We didn't have bays there. We just went out and found an open field and set up our stuff. But anyway, so if you notice, it's all color coded, and we'll talk and explain what that goes on about it. But when you do a Warno, that's just going to start to get everything going while you're taking the hires operations order and building your own order based off of that, right? And so anyway, so just looking at that, right? So basically, when you get your hires order, right? That's when you know, you as the PL, and more normal, you know, if you're in Darby, it'd be you, the PL, you as the squadron/patrol leader, and your RTO will go get a copy. They'll give you the order, right? Give you a little bit of briefing, and then basically you have to start giving instructions for what people to do, right? So they can start doing stuff while you're planning, okay? And so you're gonna give some instructions, right? And so basically, when we're looking at it, right, first thing you got to talk about is, you know, you gotta make sure everybody knows that what map you're operating on, you know, and then of course things that they should have, right? You know, when you're in your, you know, you got your op order, you got your handbook, your ranger handbook, you got your Camp Darby special map that they give you 150,000s. You know, you got map board. Typically, it's a large area of the place where you're located at, so you can brief that and everything. And then when you talk about, you know, on your orders, you know, you get your situation, mission, execution, service support, command, and signal, right? Your basic 5 paragraphs, right? And of course, you got to color code it. So the white chalk is basically used for administrative and instructional notes, right? Administrative notes are used by the squadron/PL to assist in proper issuing the order, right? And then they tell the squad leader to conduct a specific action, right? Such as you see there, it tells you, you know, take a roll call, have these things, right? Hold your questions, right? Team leaders will monitor, task organization, right? And then of course, when you go to the situation, white, you know, brief. So you got your white chalk. And again, you know, basically, when you're issuing that warning order, you know, you go to the map board, you orient, you box, you trace, you familiarize, you, right, and you do your instructional notes in white chalk, right? Then your yellow chalk, that's for the heading of the warning order and the paragraphs, subparagraphs, right? Yellow chalk is used for your situation and mission paragraphs, right? So the represent who, right? However, for the execution paragraph through the remainder, writing yellow chalk only refers to, you know, any information pertaining solely to the headquarters element after that. Okay, blue chalk again, that's the what on the execution paragraph, right? But again, this is typically for information that's going to go to the alpha team leader, right? And so that's important, right? Green chalk is the why, and it's for the Bravo team leader, right? Orange chalk is locations, where things, right? And then purple chalk is for your mission only. And again, that's represents like wind, the W wind. And then red chalk is for ammunition and pyrotechnics, right? Basically, if it goes boom, it goes bang, it's ammo, it's in red, okay? And the only area you're going to find the red is in paragraph what? 4, that's right, which is service and support, right? And then, basically it's also subparagraph alpha for special equipment, line ammo, right? So in special equipment, if you special ammo, right? Not typical stuff, but additional stuff, right? Anyway, and again, basically, you use these things so people can hone in on things and color code it quickly, right? So basically, when you issue your WARNO, off this thing, okay, it's going to get you guys moving, right? And of course, make sure, they actually have pen, paper, or pencil and paper, right? Pens are okay. I prefer graphite. Graphite writes in the rain. Graphite doesn't smudge if you use it, if you use the right kind of paper, right? And of course, you also need a protractor for plotting, right? And of course, you got your Ranger handbook to kind of keep you flowing, and then you hold your questions to the very end, right? Because that can interrupt the flow of the order. If they have a question, they just write it down, and then basically, a lot of times if they just be patient, you're going to answer their question if they let you get through it, okay? And of course, the team leaders will have to monitor, make sure people are paying attention, drinking water, staying awake. Because believe it or not, people tend to get fatigued or bored, and these orders will take a bit. Even a warning order is going to take more than, typically 10, 15 minutes, which means attention spans will lapse. So then, you're going to talk about your task organization, right? And then basically, if it's squads, you're going to have the headquarters support element, you have the alpha team leader security, and you have the Bravo team, which is assault, right? And that's important to understand that in this configuration, which is for Ranger School, but it can apply in tactically in a line. You put your B team for assault, because typically when the A team makes contact, that's your lead element, so typically they're going to be walking into contact. Their job is going to fix the enemy, unless it's a small enough element they can assault through. So you walk into something, they fix it, they can't assault through it, then your Bravo team becomes assault, and then they become security, because that's basically what they're doing. Securing the enemy, so they can't break contact, move away, and flank you. And of course, the headquarters is a support element, because they're in the middle, they're doing command and control, they're doing communications, and of course, typically has a machine gun attachment, and maybe even a medic, right? Okay, so the situation, right? And when we talk about the situation, basically, it's not always going to be you. You might think it's your situation. No, really, it's the element most likely to come into contact within the next 24 to 48 hours, which may not be you, because if you're going to pass through a friendly forward unit to get into the maneuver area, right, the box, right, the target box, you have to, they're the ones going to likely be in contact, so you have to know what their situation is, right? And so that's the who, right? In this case, Aragon Liberation Front, right? When we're talking about with the enemy, right? And then what they've been doing, and then where they're located at, right? And then they're friendly, right? In this case, this one says, 1st Platoon Bravo Company, right? Because they're going to, they're not passing through a friendly unit. They're going to go out and try to make contact and ambush the enemy, okay? And where? They're going to go into Zone D, right? And why? In order to prevent enemy logistical resupply and gathering PI and together priority intelligence requirements, right? So, and then you talk about your attachments, right? And detachments, right? With your machine gun teams, stuff like that. Anything special that you got that typically is not organic to a squad. And typically a machine gun team is not organic to a squad. A medic is not typically organic to a squad. An FO is not typically organic to a squad, so you're gonna see all that. That's what you're gonna put in your attachment detachments, right? In your instructions, right? Then you got your mission, right? And you say it clearly and concisely. You cover the 5 W's, right? And then you say it twice, and you have to issue a task and purpose. So you gotta know your hires, task and purpose, at least 2 levels up, right? That way you can make sure that yours nested, right? And so in this case, it's first squad, first platoon, main effort. What? They're going to conduct a point ambush, right? Notice the point ambush is in white, to destroy enemy personnel and equipment, okay? Where? Designated known area of interest, NAI, number 1, targeted at Golf Alpha, and then you got right there a 6-digit grid coordinate, which means it gets you to within what? Yes, that's correct, 200 meters. So it's a vicinity grid. Because it may be there, it may be a little ways. So you'll refine that when you do your leader's recon. And then you'll fraggle it. When no later than, that's important right there, 03/23 October 02. So that means 2,300 hours on 3 October, right? And why? Here's your purpose. In order to prevent enemy logistical resupply and gather PIR. Right? The task is to conduct a point ambush. The purpose? To prevent enemy logistical resupply and to gather priority intelligence requirements. Right? Then you go into your execution concept of your operation. Right? That's a brief overview. We're going to start here. We're going to move along this avenue, generally speaking, and then we will get to this location and establish ORP. Then we'll get to this location, and then get into our battle configuration, and then from there we'll do a leader's recon, and then confirm, and then from there we will then go to this RP or battle position and conduct our ambush. Right, and then upon completion of that operation, we will then collapse back to the RP, to the ORP, and then we'll move to this location to disseminate information and receive follow-on operations. And that's really as generally as you cover it, right? It's very brief, it's an overview, right? Then you have your task to maneuver units, right? Tactical instructions, right? Of course, we're using MET-TC, right? Right, those are our planning considerations. And then we're going to have our guidance for the team, special teams, and key individuals, right? Control, movement, and objective, right? Command and control, movement, and objective, right? So there's your planning guidance. I mean, it's just going to break it down, right? And so again, because this is a warning order, so it's just going to be some brief stuff, okay? To get everything moving, all right? So as we bring it down again, so we're going to talk about the headquarters at this point, which is in yellow. They're going to be second in order movement, right, with the machine gun team, right, and you'll figure out what's going to be strong side right, strong side left. That means that's the side the machine gun's on, because that's your strongest side, right. And then we'll provide supporting fires into the kill zone during the actions on the objective (AAO). And the RTO will be recording en route and during actions on the objective. So he'll be the RTO will be recording. You have to have a patrol recorder who records any things that you might hear or see or observe along, up into, and through the completion of the operation, right? Such as like things that are found on the objective, all that kind of stuff. Because that's all the PIR, that's all the priority intelligence requirements. So you've got to record that stuff so it can be completely disseminated. Right? And then it talks with the Alpha team leader, right? So they're responsible for land navigation, the first in order movement. They have flank security for the action on the objective, right? They have a 1 to 2 man EPW search team, a 1 to 2 man aid and litter, and then a team of 1 to 2 man for demolitions, right? And then of course they have a 1 to 2 man ORP clearing team. Or 1 2 man, excuse me, not 1 to 2, 1 2 man ORP clearing team, 2 2 man flank securities for the action on the objective, a 2 man for link up security team, a saw gunner to assault element during the actions on, which means that will be reconfigured in the ORP, And then, of course, make sure there's a compass man, a pace man, right? And, of course, the A-team leader is the security team leader for the Ag Sun objective. So now the A-team leader knows I've got to organize into, I've got to have a 2-man EPW search team. I've got to identify a 2-man demo team, make sure they know what they're doing, right? Both of them know what they're doing and are equipped properly. And an aid litter team. And oh, by the way, guess what? The aid litter team, that's your alternate EPW search team, right? In case you need more of one than the other, okay? Just like if you need more aid litter, your EPW search team becomes an aid litter team after they've done their job if you need more than the other, right? Your demo team, right? 2-man demo team. Why you always have 2-man teams? Because, 2 is 1 and 1 is none, and you need good security. And one guy cannot pull more than 180 degree security. With 2 guys, you got 360. Okay. ORP clearing, yeah. And then, of course, a 2-man flank security. And then when we talk about ambush, you'll see later what we mean by, flank security, because you have to have security on your flanks and your rear, right, which is part of your, ORP security as well. Okay. And then again, they'll hand over one of their saw gunner. They'll hand him over one of the saw gunners in the ORP to go to the assault element. So they got extra firepower on the line. Yep. And of course, you can imagine if they're the primary pace and they're the primary compass, then you know that the Bravo team will probably have the alternate pace and alternate compass just to make sure. But honestly, everybody's responsible for navigation. Everybody's responsible to check their compass every now and again. Everybody's responsible to keep pace. Okay? So moving right along. Now, here's the next part of the board. So I had to take a break. I'm getting a little congestion, so I'm gonna get me something to drink real quick. So this is so the board's done in quadrants, right? So this is next quadrant, right? Again, B team, they're in green. Okay, so they're the third new order movement, right? They're assault for the action objective. They got a 2-man EPW team. They got a 2-man aid litter team, right? They've got a 2-man demo team. These are all, you can remember, 1 is none and 2 is 1, right? And of course, they're gonna swap out a grenadier to the security team, right, for that saw gunner, okay? Because again, you'd rather have the machine gun on the assault line than have a grenadier per se, because a grenadier is better for your security because it's got it can get rounds in depth, right, with a HEDP, so it can actually start whacking on the, disrupting any follow-on forces pretty quick, okay? You got one compass man, one pace man, right? And then the Bravo team leader is the team leader for the assault on for action on the objective, right? And you coordinate instructions again. You're going to tailor the load per man. It's not, you can't say per SOP. You have to basically, based on what your job is, there's your packing list, right? And again, you got to use MET-TC on this. So you may have sleeping bags, and you may decide we don't need sleeping bags for an ambush, so we're not taking them. We're going to cache them. We're going to store them. We're going to put them in the bags. We're going to store them, and we're going to go with this much fighting load, right? We're not going to take a sustainment load. We're just going to take approach march load and a fighting load. But like I said, then you post up what you're wearing, what's in your rucksack, okay? And then you're going to have your time schedule, right? And basically, when you see those asterisks, that is a absolute hard time. Don't dork around with that shit. And then of course, what's going on and where's it located and who has to attend. So you notice that who's doing ammo resupply, right? You got the team leaders, right? And then with the detail, right? And then of course you're gonna have a test fire, right? That has to be coordinated with, because you can't just be whacking off around anytime you want. Then you're going to have back briefs, right? Because that's the minimum that you must do, okay? Then you're going to have to do adjacent unit coordination, right? Then you got to enter the net, right? That's the RTO's responsibility to make sure the radio is set up, loaded, ready to go, and is going to have comms, okay? Then by the you got to have the completed plan. You got to issue the op order, right? Then you're going to go into rehearsals. And what are you going to rehearse? Well, you're going to rehearse everything, man. You're going to rehearse movement formations. You're going to rehearse the route, primary and alternate routes. You're going to rehearse every battle drill, react to contact, indirect fire, react to contact attack, react to contact, break contact, clearing a linear danger area, clearing an open, small or large open danger area. Man, anything that you're going to come across that thing in your movement, you're going to rehearse. Then you're going to definitely rehearse actions on the objective, which is a minimal of rehearsal that you have to do, okay? Then you're going to have your final inspections, right? Then in this case, there's a trunk leak up because I guess they're going to ride a truck. Then they're going to depart on the truck, and then they're going to go to an insertion point where they detruck, and then there's your ORP time. So you better be in that ORP by, that's because you see it's not really that hard of a time. It's a vicinity time. But then again, you got a hard time, you better be in position, right, by 2000 or you fail, okay? And why would that be so critical? Well, if you're doing an ambush, which is part of coordinated operation in order to seal off an objective from a QRF to facilitate a raid further up the road, yeah, it's critical that you're set so that you can actually give that raiding at force time to get on and off the objective. So yeah, you can't dick around with that in position time because everything's coordinated and you're part of the security to seal that objective off. So it's just kind of important. And of course, then your mission complete. You do a link up. Your mission complete. You got everybody back to RP, and then you'll move and then get back to your wherever you're going to go debrief, right? Because if you don't debrief, well, there you go. And of course, who's doing it? Well, you got the call signs on the side telling you as well. Okay? Not just individuals, but in specific individuals, right, with the white instructions. Okay, now, again, remember this is not op order yet, this is just a warning order, right? This is going to get you going into your op order. Okay, so your non-tactical guides would be in white, but in this case, we're going to color code it to what we want people to do. So, subordinate guidance, so here you go, A team leader, you're responsible for writing paragraph number 1, right? And the link-up annex of the squad op order. You can draw all the sketches, which is, FOM, that's freedom of movement. That's your movement formations, right? Each one that we're gonna do, and then you got your battle drills, and then you got your link ups, and you got your truck annex, and then you got your action objective. So you're gonna do all those things, right? You're going to construct a terrain model with the routes, primary and alternate. You're gonna have the fire support overlay, right? Sterile and non-sterile, right? Which means you're gonna have where the actual stuff, and then you're gonna have a sterile one so that we have to make corrections, we can make corrections, right? Not sterile means you've already made it. And then, of course, Bravo team leader, because there's a second in the chain of command, they're in charge at all times during the squad leader's absence, right? So he's going to write paragraph number 4, because that's like what a platoon sergeant would write anyway. So he's like the platoon sergeant in this case, which also is the truck annex of the squad op order, right? So supply, DX, and ammo list, draw, issue, have all items, ensure everybody does a test fire, and all equipment is tied down in accordance with the SOP. And then update the squad status card and the hand receipt, right? The RTO is going to write the signal, right? Paragraph 5, right? to ensure all radios are operational with proper frequencies and loaded, and ensure that we enter the net on time. And team leaders will update the warning order board with all the correct information and tasks as accomplished, and then line it out. So that way anybody can come look and see where you're at in your priorities, in your troop leading procedures and priorities of work. Okay. And then of course post chain of command and all that special team stuff, and any key individuals, right? And then come see for further guidance at the end of the WARNO, right? Service support is going to be your special equipment part, right? So you got 119, AMPRC 119, extra battery. You got a 240 Bravo machine gun, complete with tripod, T&E, Pentel, and you got the NTWS 13 Bravo, which is the comp site for the 240 Bravo. You got extra batteries. You got 3 ACOG sites. Okay, and then Alpha Team Leader's got 3 ACOGs, got 2 M4 bipod leg sets, got a SAW comp site. You got extra battery, you got CLS bag, you got digital camera, and you got extra batteries, right? And then third battalion, or the Bravo Team Leader, 3 ACOGs, 2 M4s, bipods. Again, SAW, extra site, comp site for the SAW. You got the or MGO, machine gun optic, extra batteries, 1 CLS bag, digital camera again, with extra battery, right? And if you notice, what do we have in red? Yes, we have the ammunition, right? And so what are they going to carry, right? So the M16 M4s are carrying 210, 7 30-round magazines, M249, 600. Right. The 240, 800. M203, 12 HEDP, 3 shotgun, 4 loom, and 1 target practice, 2 TPs, target practice. All right, that's the orange dye ones. I don't know why you would carry that, other than I guess maybe signaling. Anyway, I'd carry smoke. They do have a smoke round. And of course, the supplemental ammo is you got 3 claymores, 2 demo kits, 24 M67 frags, 2 per man, and then 100 something tracers. So basically with the 5.56 tracer, which is basically you take that and then you augment with the other ball so that it should get everybody to the proper number of tracer. That's why that's kind of messed up. It shouldn't be 210 per. It should be a little less ball because you have tracer. You have 42. So you should have subtracted 42 from the 210. Otherwise, you're not going to have enough magazines. So yeah, they kind of dorked up their ammunition on this already. That's a hit. That's a hit on your grade. 2 AT4s, 6 HE smoke, 2 red smoke, 4 yellow smoke. So you got to incorporate those smokes into your signal plan. Because HE smoke is a masking smoke, you can't use that for signals, but you use the red or yellow, which may be important for extraction or identifying when you come up to a friendly unit as a signal out. Anyway, transportation. So now you're going to talk about your trucking annex. It's basically when you're trucking annex, you're going to talk about your load plan, who's going to ride on what truck, right? Alpha team leader is on a truck, Bravo team is on another truck. If typically you try to do that. And then the headquarters splits up, right? But more than likely the lead truck will have the squad leader as the TC, and the B team leader is the TC for the trail truck. But you may have everybody on one truck, and then it's just the squad leaders and the TC hatch. Anyway, so here's your command signal, right? So of course you got your headquarters, which your commander's your squad leader. Okay, got his name. You got the name of the RTO, you got the machine gunner, and you got the AG. You notice there's no ammo bearer. Well, typically you also have an ammo bearer, but you know, in this case they didn't get one. And of course, they make sure there's special job instructions for job description for the RTO recorder, and of course your alpha team, which is security element, right? And they're third in the chain of command, and then of course the assault, which is the second in the chain of command, the Bravo team leader. So they just have noted here the squad leader, the security element, and then of course the Bravo team leader. So that's 1, 2, 3, but also the RTO should be the number 4, because he probably has the most information, the most readily available stuff to do after the Bravo team leader. And then of course within the teams you have to establish the chain of command, right? Which is typically after your team leader is your grenadier, then your saw gunner, then your rifleman. It's just kind of how it tends to work. Of course, you get battalion. Of course, then the signal is, basically as per your hires op order as far as signals goes, and you're going to put that in your op order. And then of course you give a time hack, right? You're going to issue time place uniform for the op order, and then synchronize your watches, your swatches. Like, okay, I have this time now. We're going to go on my time because you've already synchronized your time when you got your higher order. And so now everybody should be on the same time. And then what are your questions? And that's when you can give further guidance, such as making sure that guys are writing stuff. Yeah, we're going to use these 5x8 cards, and you're going to print legibly the stuff I need you to write and stuff like that, right? And so this warning order board, it's a pretty good tool. Like I said, I've also used it as a platoon sergeant in a rifle platoon, right? And basically, it worked really well. Kind of keeps people knowing what they got to do. So that basically you have the 1/3, 2/3 rule going, which means like you're only using 1/3 of the time to actually write your order while everybody else is doing stuff during all that time, same time, so that basically you're not monopolizing. They get everything that gets done, so that then when you come time to give them the order, you've maximized time and efficiency. And so that is troop leading procedures in a nutshell. Starting from a base order, you give a WARNO, you get things going, and then you issue your order. And basically with the order, that's where you're going to get start same thing. Concept is going to be really kind of broad overview. Then when you get coordinate instructions, you're going to get into the nitty gritty and get that information out so that you can quickly then get into your rehearsals and then iron out any problems that you may have to do a fragmentary change on. So doing this stuff tends to be pretty good. I don't know if you can let it go there, huh? Let me see something. Might have another should turn the light off in the back. Yeah, probably should turn that light off in the back. I'm sorry. So let me go back and show you the boards a little bit better. Now, one shine spot I just can't get rid of because that's really from when they took the pictures of the boards. At Darby. Just to show you again. So there's the first part again. Remember what the color coding is, right? Administration instructions for everybody in white. Then of course the yellow is for headquarters or the command element. And then of course orange is location, location, location. And then of course blue in this case is for Alpha team. Green is for Bravo team. And purple is like the big deal. And of course, as you can see, It's ammo. Ammo, demo, goes boom. And so I will tell you that, yeah, that's the thing about, bay planning. It really helps you out quite a bit. And just always remember, no plan survives first contact. And, if you got good rehearsals, right? That helps you out a lot of ways. And then just be agile and adaptive. So hopefully this has been a good exercise to kind of get you to think about stuff a little bit. I guess the next class I'm going to cover is I'll just cover the linear ambush, because seeing that goes over the mission is a linear ambush, I'll probably do that for the next one. So this pretty much ends the tutorial for today. And of course I also have a fieldcraft one I want to do as well. Try to wind some of this stuff up before the end of the year, so then I can figure out what's going on. But hey, just also let you know that I got Captain Coria coming in this weekend to interview, so you guys will get some background on him. Classmate of my son John, F2 class of 16, now the Millside 1 guy. All right, so without further ado, enjoy your evening. Adios, guys.
I'm gonna chemical, gonna plan a guerrilla war. We're gonna train them all, show them how to give a good op order. Now I'm staying up every night because I can't forget bona fides, grizz disease, and time for cigarettes. And the colonel thinks our plan is crap. We gotta do it again. Don't wanna hear about it. I know you got an info story to tell. Everyone knows about it. The ruck was heavy and the walk was hell. My feet are bleeding and they're bleeding and they're bleeding, and my back is sore. All the G's are gonna be shit bags. We're gonna lose rapport. Link up was 2 hours ago, but now the G's are gone. Got a mission now. Show the G's how to clear a house. They killed the hostage now.
Send in the medic.
Might get a pink car to get peered out. And if we get you coming down the road, we're gonna ambush you.
always on my case.